Stock market today analysis for Aloha Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. As I do in every one of these videos, I want to invite you to look in the description below for this link to ihavesuccess.com. I got free stuff, I got paid stuff. Overall, the stuff I got for you is helping you sell cash secured put options on stocks you'd be happy to own. There's the wheel strategy. There's other ways to do it for a little bit longer term. Check out all that stuff at the 1 minute mark of this video, which is in about roughly 40-ish seconds. In the 1 minute mark, there's going to be a link to a video right here that will give you 5 reasons why you should be doing this. I've found that when I know the reasons why, figuring out the how-tos become a lot easier. You don't have to watch this little video right now. Boom! There it is, right at the 1 minute mark. It's easy to remember. 1, it comes before 2, and actually every number other than 0 and any type of like fraction or decimal that's lower than 1. But 1, it's really easy to remember at the 1 minute mark. So check this stuff out. If you have any questions about anything you see here, go to this Contact Us. And just to let you know, the us is me, myself, and I. Just me, myself, and I. Do, 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 do. You know, my musician days are over. So that's what I got for you on that regard. Tuesday, we had this economic report come out. Didn't really seem to move the market too much. The conference board. If you hear some noise, I'm experiencing a tropical storm here on the island of Oahu in the state of Hawaii. And so anyways, tomorrow we got the Institute of Supply Management Purchasing Managers Index coming out. And you can go to Forex Factory and read into some more of that stuff if you like, or just Google it, Bing it, whatever search engine you want to use. If you still use books, I really don't care. Carrier pigeons, stone tablets, whatever floats your boat or sinks your ship. You choose what you want to do. And then Friday we got something else coming out too. I don't know if these are pretty important things. I'm not sure how much they're really going to move the market though. Looking at this quickly, looking at this heat map here, we see a lot more red than green. Yesterday was a lot more green than red. So when we look at advancing versus declining, we got 52.9, a little more declining. Making new highs versus new lows. We got a little bit more even, but they're just a little bit more making new lows. We have 52, almost 53% below the 50-day moving average, and sort of around that same number below the 200-day moving average. And overall, there's significantly more bearish action today than bullish. FinViz, you can check that out. I think there's a way you can pay for it to get rid of all those ads if you don't want to see the ads. Let's go right into looking at the futures really quickly. Here's our 4 major indices, and it looks down, right? You can see it looks down. We got this current candle open here, looking down, and overall looking bearish there. How about my mouse freezing up on me? I got this backup mouse. Backup mouse is, I think it might be my computer. Backup mouse seems to wear out too. Anyways, gold. Okay, rallying up just a little bit for the last month. It's basically been going down, getting close to this 200-day moving average. Silver below this 200-day moving average. Bitcoin looking down here, testing this 23,000 level. 10-year yield going up, hit a monthly high yesterday. Still in that up range. Crude oil, you know, we got a new our old monthly high of $82 is not on this chart anymore. Now it's at 80, so kind of slowly, seems to be slowly coming down. VIX futures pulling back just a little bit. Natural gas kind of rallied up a little bit. Let's look at how the overall markets We already looked at Bitcoin, crude oil, and gold. 20-year treasuries rallied up a little bit, but overall we see they're down on the month. The dollar up on the month. VIX today pulling back a little bit, even though it got down here to this 20, and then some buying pressure put it up. Now the VIX is calculated from option transactions on the S&P 500. Me personally, as I'm learning more and more about how the 0 days to expiration options affect the VIX, I'm getting a little less thinking that it's when the VIX is high you buy, when the VIX is low you go. I'm trying to figure out where exactly that is. What do we see over here? Russell 2000. You see anything bullish? Nope. All right, we're still, after this big drop, we're in the bottom. Definitely the bottom half. Is it the bottom 25%? We're pretty low. Look at that high traded all the way up here. Selling pressure just pushed that down, almost like a reverse hammer or something like that. Sort of the same looking thing over here on the NASDAQ. The Dow Jones just really tanked, hitting a new low today, even though it pulled back a little bit from that low. But coming down here, everything's getting closer to this 200-day moving average, where our Russell 2000's the furthest away from it. But Dow Jones coming down there, and same sort of look for the S&P 500. Quick breakdown on the 12 sectors of the stock market. Right here it looks pretty similar to the NASDAQ, right? Because it's kind of a lot of the same stocks. Healthcare sold off. We got financials trying to stabilize here, but overall on the month it's kind of down, sideways down. Now it seems to be going sideways again. We got this little bit of sideways action, but losing ground over here in industrials, and overall down on the month in basic materials, even though we had this rally back up to about 82, is that $82 range, and seems to be hitting some resistance right in there. Communications just down. Look at that big gap up, and it just floated back down. Retail, same thing, looking weak down here. Same with real estate. Utilities just took a dive down. Really, look at that. Prices pushing all the way down to the end of this candle with this huge amount of volume coming in. If you are a person that wants to acquire some utility stocks for their dividends, and maybe your long-term portfolio, if that might be something that you're interested in, you can go to Yahoo Finance and put in XLU, look at the different holdings of it, and start doing some fundamental analysis on the different companies in there. Maybe you can find some good value at a discount or getting close. If this keeps dropping down, maybe it'll get close. XLP, consumer staples, sold off today too. There might be some good value in there or coming up. And consumer discretionary, looking pretty weak under that 200-day moving average. If it starts breaking this, if it starts falling back down here to like somewhere in this candle, kind of below this 145, but around this, especially if it breaks this low, it's probably going to really take a dive. And energy really sold off today. Let's take a quick browse through some of S&P 500. Let's see, we can just go over here. No, I forgot I unlinked that. Let's go like this. Oh, that's the wrong one. Take a quick browse through over here at the, put this at 6 months. So we got our volume on there. All right, Apple. We got Apple looking like it's kind of topping out. And overall, we see it's battling this 200-day moving average. Gapped up right here, and it's kind of battling this gap. So at the moment, it's Let's see who's going to win, the Bulls or the Bears. But I think there's a bit of a case to be made for the Bears. Microsoft, not looking too much different. That seems like we're getting kind of stuck here in this around 250-ish area, support resistance. We'll see if this is going to hold up as support or resistance. Amazon, again, it's overall in the last 6 months we just looking pretty bearish. Meta looks similar to communications, right, where it gapped up and is kind of floating back down, probably because Meta is probably one of the big stocks in there. Google, they love to put Google in here twice, and it basically is looking the same, except for I noticed one of them, this one's not a doji, but it's pretty close to it. The other one's a doji. Anyways, looks like we're hitting some support there around that 90 area, but support resistance area. Warren Buffett, kind of up to the top of this range. Well, what's going to happen? Probably hitting some resistance right through there. Tesla had this nice rally over the last couple weeks or months, whatever that is. About a month, roughly. What is that? A little bit over a month. And is it going to continue? Hitting some resistance right in here. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits some resistance. If it gets above this 200-day moving average, it's probably going to keep running. But right now, it's not getting above that 200-day moving average. Nvidia got that gap up and then kind of moving sideways right at the moment. And we'll see if that's probably not going to. Everything else is looking pretty bearish, so that's probably putting some weight on Nvidia. It seems like this is not looking too bearish, but it's hitting this resistance right up here. Looks like it might be running out a little bit of steam. You got everything else kind of weighing it down. So because the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 top 10 are so overlapping, for example, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Tesla, Google again, Nvidia, right? It's only like 2 unique ones for the top 10, which is PayPal, looking bearish. Adobe, still looking bearish. And then let's look at the Dow Jones. Top 10. United Health Group. Woo, look at that. Coming down, looking pretty bearish. Really sold off today, which not a surprise when we looked at the healthcare sector. Yeah, Goldman Sachs. Look at that. Just really, that would have been a great day to do a short day trade, huh? Home Depot starting to stabilize, but below that 200-day moving average. You see that this 300 area has been support resistance in the past, so it's probably going to get stuck with some resistance. We already looked at Microsoft. Salesforce seems to be kind of lingering down towards this 200-day moving average, but sloping down maybe around this. Seems like somewhere in this 160-ish area might get some support. But overall, the market is looking, look at that, it's kind of looking weak. We had this rally up, and it's just kind of been floating back down. If that's a real candle, can you imagine if you would have if you had bought a call on that day? Oh man, you would have made a lot of money. Oh, and then Honeywell. Honeywell is just kind of floating down, but this maybe it's sort of slowing. It's at the minimum, we're seeing some slowing of momentum. We'll see if tomorrow, if it starts falling down more. Visa is kind of moving sideways. Look at that. It's tremendous. Amgen, super bear. Boeing, it's looking like it's struggling to keep going up. And we can go through the Russell 2000 like that too, relatively quickly. These are fun to look at. AMC seems to be hitting this resistance at $8. Lots of volume came in the last 2 days though, buying and selling. Shockwave just been moving down. Now it's kind of moving sideways below its 200-day moving average here. Tried to get up to the 200 and just really $220 price point. Gapped up there on the open on its earnings and just sold off, and really just showing that the traders want to keep it right in this area for now. But if it starts breaking maybe this 172, this low, it's probably going to be taking a dive potentially. Biohaven, look at that. Not even enough. I guess they love putting some short, some not pretty green behind the ears. Is that how they say it? Wet behind the ears, whatever. Green. But we got a low. We got a higher low. Yeah, it's kind of up. It's kind of. Let's see, getting stuck right here in this between the $15 and the $16 area. IntelliTherapeutics, still, we got a double bottom right here, and is it going to be making low, higher low? Not sure. Seems to be getting stuck around this 45, but going to take a little more to get that out of the woods. Crocs is still looking, even though it's pulling back a bit, it overall kind of got this decent trend going up. Let's see what happens though. We seeing these last 4 trading days be kind of similar pattern across a lot of different equities. So let's see what happens around that 120. If it starts breaking below that 120, we've got a different story, especially if it starts coming down here and testing towards where it pivoted here before. Chart Industries broke down, just kind of been going sideways, but moving up a bit from here, about $40 roughly, 30 whatever. Kind of looking sideways. Corona look pretty sideways, just slowed down, but overall it's just going sideways. Lattice, that looks up, right? But we're pulling back to about right. We were pulling back to about right in here, kind of moving up. If it keeps sort of moving up, I could see us kind of keeping that bull trend going. But if it, like everything else, if it just starts going sideways, then that little short-term bull run is turned into a sideways meander. And the Apellis, my pronunciation is not the greatest, but yeah, we broke out on some earnings right here, and it is kind of pulling back. So what does that have in store for us? I'm still of the mindset of a bit of a sideways market. We're moving down, but we're not. How far are we going to move down? We had been moving up. How far are we going to move up? And look at that, completely sideways today. Right in here, right between these two, basically. So, yeah, I'm still sticking with wanting to see what's going to happen right around this 400 range, but now we closed at the 396. It's still kind of close to 400, right? 396 is closer to 400 than 392. So we're kind of sticking around there, especially if we're going to be right in here. I could see it kind of maybe moving sideways and going back up. If it ends up kind of going back up, then then we really have a low, higher low, another higher low. Then we'll have to see what happens kind of right in this area. But right now, we haven't seen that happen yet. Right now, it's still below this 400 area. So let's see how long it's going to stay below the 400. How low will it go below 400? And then, inversely of how long will it stay, which the inverse would be, how quickly does it get above the 400? And if it does get above the 400, how fast does it start making its way up to 420? Most recently, it got up to about here, which is roughly around like 418, and before it pivoted and went back down, which would give us like a high, higher high, higher high. But let's see. Really, I think the lines in the sand are still pretty obvious. We got this like the 400 area, the 420 area, the 440 area, and the 380 area. As long as it's kind of staying bouncing around in there, then I think just going to continue to go sideways. But if it really starts breaking out of any of that stuff, then we'll probably move it into some other type of direction. With that, my friends, the best thing you can do is figure out a way to trade where direction doesn't matter. Let me rephrase that. Figure out a way to make money regardless of direction. Direction will always matter, but you can kind of minimize it a bit. And if you can make money no matter what direction, then it's kind of like you don't care. Whereas like a 401k, if you only know how to go long, you need the stock market to go up. So consider that, and consider having yourself a fantastic day. Aloha.